March 17, 1943. Terpitsufa 76-78. Berlin. The folder slammed onto the mahogany desk with such force that coffee splashed from Admiral Wilhelm Canaris's porcelain cup, staining intelligence reports that, if discovered by the Gestapo, would have meant execution. Impossible, the officers whispered. The Americans are feeding us propaganda through turncoat agents. Through the tall windows of Abwehr headquarters, Canaris could see the Landwehr Canal where Rosa Luxemburg's body had been dumped 24 years earlier. Now, as chief of German military intelligence, he held in his trembling hands a report that challenged not just Nazi propaganda but the entire mathematical foundation of German victory. "This cannot be right," Canaris murmured, spreading photographs and intercepted dispatches across the desk. According to these sources, intercepted messages and reports from agents in Mexico City, Ford's Willow Run plant is producing a B-24 Liberator every hour, 1 bomber per hour. His voice wavered as he looked to Major Friedrich Wilhelm Heinz standing at attention. If this is true, the arithmetic of this war changes. It is not bravado or rumor. These figures come from many independent channels. We must verify. If we do nothing, we will misread the enemy's capacity and condemn millions. Major Heinz saluted and spoke crisply. "Admiral, I triple-checked the intelligence. The wire intercepts, agent reports, the shipping manifests, they all line up. Willow Run's assembly methods reduce the bomber to subassemblies, then converge them on a moving line. 1.5 million parts, thousands of rivets, and an army of workers. They have rethought production as flow rather than craft. If Canaris is correct, their output dwarfs anything we manage. Mathematically, it is overwhelming. 2 years ago I warned them," said Oboist Nicholas Ritter, once an aviator who had lived in America. "I watched the Chrysler building rise in months. Americans build differently: capital, tooling, specialization. Gentlemen," Morrison had said at a reception in Mexico City after one too many tequilas, unaware of listening ears, "the assembly line is over a mile long. The building is vast enough that clouds seem to collect inside. They employ 42,000 workers, women, Negro women, men, doing 60,000 operations broken down into single tasks. We train them in days, not months. A worker who yesterday boiled breakfast now installs hydraulic lines. They made the bomber like a car. Sections, flows, and relentless repetition." He laughed at skepticism, but his napkin sketches convinced those listening that this was more than bravado. "Listen," Sorensen told a supposed neutral contact, proud and technical. "We learned from outdoor builds in San Diego. One aircraft once took 180,000 man-hours. We changed that by moving the airframe past fixed workers. Apprenticeship classes teach thousands weekly. Women perform fine detail work. Younger men handle supply logistics. We designed tooling for single operations, 1,600 specialized machine tools. The investment is massive, but the result is repeatable speed. You cannot compare this to European methods of craft. It is capital, training, and relentless process." Dash, captured after landing on Long Island, told interrogators what alarmed him most. "Canaris sent us to gather ground truth. Berlin did not believe their reports, they thought it propaganda. I told them, I lived in America. I've seen car factories. If they built a car every minute before the war, they can build a bomber every hour now. They accused me of defeatism. I surrendered because the mission asked for evidence and the weight of what I'd seen made sabotage meaningless. It was arithmetic. Göring, dismissive photos? Wooden mock-ups. Propaganda. 50 bombers a month at most. Hitler, cold Americans make refrigerators, automobiles, simple goods. A heavy bomber is precision and skill. They took 6 years to prepare, we took 6 years. How could they do this in months? Canaris, pleading my Führer, Herr Reichsmarschall, we have manifests. 16 million pounds of aluminum consumed monthly at Willow Run alone. 17 independent sources confirm these rates. Göring, laughing harshly, then where do they get the metal? From their women. From their Negro workers? Do you take me for a fool? Canaris left the meeting knowing the truth had failed to penetrate prejudice and pride. The Abwehr's painstaking collection, photographs smuggled through diplomatic pouches, intercepted cables, eyewitness testimony, could not overcome assumptions that were political, racial, and personal. This failure was not a single mistake but a systemic blindness, an inability to translate numbers into policy. History would call it an intelligence failure, but at its heart it was mathematics denied. If one nation can produce an air armada in numbers beyond imagination, then victory becomes a question not of swords but of spreadsheets and factories. The war that followed would prove that arithmetic can be merciless. In the months that followed, bomber streams crossed oceans and continents. Steel and aluminum flowed like water. Tens of thousands of hands turned the cogs of war. Those who refused to accept the math were not merely mistaken, they were imperiled by it. The story is not merely of machines and factories, but of how human bias hides the obvious. When facts collide with ideology, facts are the ones that must be shown anew, with photographs, manifests, and the stubborn truth of production logs. That stubborn truth, once revealed, is often the most devastating weapon of all.